Hey everyone, remember that wreath, the owl wreath? Yeah, we're going to recreate it and it's not going to cost us $26. It's going to cost about $10 unless you have to buy ribbon and all that. I have ribbon and I have the paint. Unless you have to buy all that, it should only cost you about 10 bucks. So we're just going to get into it. I bought the wreath and the picks at Walmart. The rest of the stuff I got at Dollar Tree. The paint I had, and I'll tell you, I need to replace my paint because it's really thick and goopy. And I did take and put a pipe cleaner through these just to make it easier to hold on to while I paint them. And then when I got them painted, I just used the pipe cleaners to help hold them over something while they dried. So I just gave them a coat of white paint. If you're going to hang this outside, you may want to put some kind of clear coat or Mod Podge over them afterwards and let that dry to seal them. But there they are. They're dry. I wasn't worried about it. I kind of wanted to have a bit of stress look. So unless you want them perfectly, don't worry about a little bit of the silver coming through. These are the balls that I'm using. They came from the Dollar Tree. And I'm using some of the ribbon that I had in my stash. Like I said, unless you don't have like the ribbon or something, and you can use any colors you want. You don't have to make it look just like mine. I'm kind of trying to make it look somewhat close to Walmart's, but it doesn't have to. I glue the ribbon on where the seam is, and I keep that end folded under so that it has a nice, even, clean end. So that if you do see it, it's not going to look really ugly or frayed. I know a lot of people like the frayed ribbon look. Some things maybe, some things maybe not. And I just kind of, glue this down, make it look pretty. And this does have like a gold trim on it. It is a really pretty ribbon. Looked really nice on these balls. And so I just kind of did that with both of these. And I couldn't find any like wooden stars or anything like that, like the Walmart wreath had. So I just went with what I had. And I didn't mess with trying to make any. I just figured I'd go with what I had, make it look like something I would have. Make it look like mine. Doesn't have to look like Walmart's. Make it look like yours. So anyways, that's how they turned out. And they turned out really cute. I like that with the ribbon around it. Takes that plain Jane ball and makes it look pretty. And getting everything set up away from where I'm going to work. And I'm deciding which owl I want to use. I decided to go with the one with the more white on it for this wreath. And I gotta tell you, these wreaths look so mushed down. And you do want to keep that hanger that's on the top. We're going to use that to help hold him on. And you're going to want to really work at pulling all these branches loose on this because they've got them twisted and, go around it a couple of times. Don't just stop at once. Go around it, go around it, go around it, go around it. And it took me a good 5-6 minutes of pulling branches apart and rearranging them to make it look a little fuller, a little more realistic. Just play with it a little bit. Have fun with it. And it didn't take all that long to get it looking more like a wreath. You don't have to have it look uniform because branches aren't uniform. They just are what they are. And I kind of was out of frame here. I'm sorry. I just took the pics, kind of laid them in there, made them kind of look the way I wanted them to look. Bending them, you can make them any shape you want, moving them around, and then once I got kind of an idea where I wanted them, I took zip ties. I know a lot of people use hot glue. If you really want something to last, use zip ties. I got my clear ones out this morning, and now I can't figure out where I laid them. So black ones it is. We're going to use black zip ties. That's just the way it is. I like the pop of red on this wreath along with the white and the kind of silvery, shiny look to it. And it just worked. Sorry about yawning at everybody. And after I got them kind of where I wanted them, I zip tied everything down. I just used one zip tie per piece, and then just making it so that the zip tie wasn't really noticeable. I basically zip tied it to a nearby branch that and then zip tied it in an area on the pick that I was putting in place where it wasn't noticeable. And you can also weave a branch around the pick if you need to help hide that zip tie. There's so many ways to tuck away and hide a zip tie. So don't be afraid to use zip ties to fasten things on with. They're more sturdy. Especially if you have to worry about, is it going to be too cold and the glue doesn't hold? Is it going to be too hot and the glue doesn't hold? So many things with the weather you have to worry about, and you don't want your craft to fall apart. You just don't. And just because the glue says it'll hold, has all this good hold, doesn't mean it's always going to continue to hold. So yeah, zip ties seem to work so much better on a lot of crafts. I always kind of tuck my fat piece of the zip tie down around and just kind of move everything around, make things look nice and tidy. Don't be afraid to bend the branches and stuff and make things look the way you want them to look. Now it's kind of out of frame here. I put the zip tie through and then I tied a knot close to that zip tie. That made that owl so that he's closer to the wreath, if that makes any sense. Instead of that string being really long that I'm tied to, the zip ties on, it's short. I guess is how I want to put it. And yeah, I just zip tie it to the wreath, and then you'll see that I go back in a little bit and I cover that up because the zip tie is noticeable. I do come back in with a couple pieces off from another branch that I got from the Dollar Tree that I've been using on other crafts, and I cover this up with something a little different than what's on it, so it kind of really perked it up. And I really love how this wreath turns out. And then both times that I worked on these bells, I completely lost the footage. When I went and put the bells on, and when I strung the bells with the red, what do you call that? Like that green that I'm working with now, but I have red on the bells. I lost complete footage of both times that I did the bells, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and fasten the balls on, and I'm using the pipe cleaners. That's what it is. The sparkly looking pipe cleaners. twist it on tight. Make sure it's tucked out of the way where it can't be seen. Snip off the ends. And yeah, that ball is still able to be moved however you want to lay it in there. And again, the part where I put the balls on, I don't know if I forgot to press play on the video or what happened, but I went from putting these balls on straight to finishing up the wreath. So I guess I forgot to press play. But anyhow, it turned out really gorgeous. I love how this turned out. And you can do this with any colors, with any animal. You can do this with snowman. You can do this with Santa. With just about anything. You know, just have fun with it. So as you can see, the bells are there, and I've got some of these little pussy willow branches, and I'm going to glue them down on top of where the zip ties are so that it covers the black zip tie. And that pussy willow branch looks so cool in that spot. It looks like it was just meant to be there. I love how this turned out, and it was really actually quite easy to do. I was like, gosh, I'm probably going to get started on this and everything's going to go haywire, and it actually turned out really, really cute. The hanger, again, I'm using that cute ribbon. It is a cloth ribbon, and I bring it underneath that wire that the wreath is made out of, and I'm simply going to make a knot. Now the cloth ribbon, when you make a knot, this ribbon holds tight. So I'm making that knot, and then I'm going to pull it all the way through the other side. So the knot is at the bottom, and then I'm going to trim it close. Not too close, but I'm going to trim it so it's short. And then kind of tuck it down in so it's kind of not visible, and it's ready to hang. And here it is on the front door, guys. I love how this wreath turned out. The pops of red were just perfect. The pussy willows just kind of popped right there in that center at the top. The bells were a really nice touch. And that red on the bells was just right. The little shimmery, glittery here and there on things kind of give it that extra little frosty look. And the center of it, the owl, how cute did that turn out, guys? Walmart price for a wreath with an owl was $26. My cost was $10. $3 for the wreath, $6 for the picks, 3 picks, $1 for the bells, $1 for the balls. You say $1 basically for all the odds and end things that I've spent on, that I had in my crafts. So there you go, guys. I love it. How beautiful. I am so in shock at how wonderful this turned out. I know I shouldn't be, but look at how beautiful it is. Guys, thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me. I hope you get to make your own wreath, and I love y'all. Take care, guys.